Welcome to the Many Worlds Podcast. Listener discretion is advised. This anthology is a work of fiction. Any characters, events, and businesses have been fictionalized or completely fabricated. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental, or happened in an alternate dimension.
Welcome to the Many Worlds Podcast. Tonight's special feature, Nonsense and Humor. A collection of ridiculous tales, bad ideas, and worse punchlines. Don't take notes. You'll regret it later. Now, let's get into nothing personal.
Nothing personal. Hello? Owen said. Damn, homie. I didn't know if you'd pick up. I figured you were in some foreign country. I'm close enough to a cell tower. What's up? Owen said. You know Shane, right? Racist, likes to sleep with women in relationships, cheated on your sister. His sister is a con artist and escort. Yeah, I've got a passing recollection of him. Why? Owen clocked that Marcello sounded upset and had already guessed what the situation was. Well, Katie found out about me and Emerson. She looked through my phone when I was in the shower. Anyway, she was pissed. One night, she decided to go out with her friend, who is also named Katie. Okay, Owen said. They met up with Shane at the bar, and she and Katie go home with him to smoke and do whatever. The other Katie drank too much and passed out in Shane's bed. Well, guess what? Shane and Katie fucked. Owen put his phone on mute and laughed. He tried to pull himself together. Damn, that's fucked up, dude, Owen said, trying not to sound like he was amused. Worst part is, my Katie was asleep in Shane's bed too. When she woke up, she heard noises and Shane was fucking the other Katie. Marcello sounded hurt. Owen couldn't help it. He took the phone away from his ear and howled with laughter. His shoulders shook and tears leaked out of his eyes. Wait. So your girl cheated on you with Shane, and Shane cheated on her with another Katie? Bro, that's like a white trash inception. Damn, that's fucked up, bro. What are you gonna do? Owen said, laughing. I know, bro. I called up Shane and I told him I was gonna cut him from forehead to dickhead. He knows who the fuck I am. Marcello shouted. Dog, are you serious? How many times have you cheated on Katie? I mean, no one deserves to get cheated on, but you kinda had it coming, Owen chuckled. Nah, man, that's fucked up, you know? She's the love of my life. I'm gonna fuck him up, Marcello said. Man, that is super hypocritical of you, considering how bad your behavior has been. Look, as your lawyer, I advise you to let this shit go. These things have a habit of taking on a life of their own, Owen said. Marcello heard what he said, didn't fucking care. 2 days later, most days, Marcello was just a guy that worked a job, tried to keep his nose clean. He stopped cheating on Katie. Of course, that was because she found out that he was cheating on her with him. He mostly stopped doing coke, Adderall, and all the other stuff. He went to the bathroom, came out, checked his gun for the 16th or 17th time that day. Was he ready for action? He put on his black leather coat with silver zippers and buckles, slid on gloves with hardened knuckles, laced up a pair of steel-toed boots. His curly brown hair was pulled back into a ponytail, like any good hipster. The mirror showed a man wearing a scowl and the weight of a relationship that had gone to absolute shit. Fuck the rules. Screw what anyone thought. In the bathroom mirror, staring at his face. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? He said. He had called his two friends from the Mexican Mafia. Shane needed to be taken care of, but Marcello wanted to do the deed himself. He only needed his friends Mario and Carlos to pick him up from the bar. They drunk there multiple times. Shane and Marcello had once been close, partying together. They'd even been roommates, but all that was over. Marcello even gave him a second chance when he cheated on his little sister. But this time, Shane had crossed the fucking line. Marcello remembered calling up Shane, and he swore he'd cut him from forehead to dickhead. But when he thought about it, cutting someone completely in half with a $200 knockoff katana he'd bought off a late-night knife channel wouldn't do the job and would leave too much evidence. He couldn't afford that. But if Marcello went to jail, though, so fucking be it. For the 17th time, Marcello walked across his living room and made the sign of the cross. He wasn't Catholic, but he prayed anyway, begging whatever spirit was listening to look away so he could do what he had to do. That's when the phone buzzed. The text said they'd got him. Mario and Carlos had found Shane, put him in a black van with no windows, and driven him up to the Black Hills. Marcello rode his motorcycle there, scowling the whole way. The storm clouds dogging his route like a prophecy. It was like his rage was gathering on the horizon. He had a job to get done, and damn it, Shane was gonna pay. When he told Owen about the situation, Owen said, I told you about that asshole. The frog and the scorpion. It's in his fucking nature, bro. He arrived, and every moment stretched like an eternity that pushed him forward. His pulse thudded. He could hear his heart in his ears. Sweat ran cold on his arms, but he lit a cigarette as he walked up. Mario and Carlos stood by the van, businesslike, nodding to one another, saying little. Is he in the van? Marcello said. You know it. He tried to run and we tied the fucker up, Carlos answered. Marcello steadied himself and whispered, God, turn away. Don't look. He pulled out his revolver, slid open the van door, took the hood off the man's face. He pointed the gun and then froze. Oh shit. That's not Shane. Who the fuck is this? Marcello's voice went high-pitched. Mario said, Hey, homie, you told us to get the dude. We got the dude. We put him in the van like you said. This isn't Shane, motherfucker! This is not Shane! Marcello shouted again. Are you sure? He started running when we called his name. Dude, you have bought weed from Shane. He looks like an emo rockabilly douchebag. Marcello shouted. Marcello slammed the van door in bewilderment. He realized they'd gone too far. What was he thinking telling Mario and Carlos to kidnap someone? These two could barely sell drugs right. He definitely wasn't going to kill an innocent man. A guy who looked nothing like Shane, which Mario and Carlos had definitely met. Not knowing what else to do, Marcello took out every cent he had on him. Then he made his two accomplices chip in. Marcello opened the door, took out the knife, and cut the man loose. Sorry, bro. Sorry, man. It's just a huge misunderstanding, Marcello said. The man was crying. Thanks, dude. He sobbed. I thought you were really gonna fucking kill me. No, man. No. Get yourself an Uber, dude. Here's some cash. As the van pulled away and the man stumbled off, Marcello got on his motorcycle and decided maybe God hadn't looked away after all.
On a farm in southern Ohio, an overweight farmer is about to butcher his chickens. After killing half a dozen, the farmer picked up a chicken who was very skittish. Before the axe struck home, the chicken spoke. "Please don't." The farmer was transfixed. Sensing a gold mine, he took the chicken to the fair. She clucked out song lyrics and quotes from Keats and Shakespeare. She was celebrated and raised high while every other chicken went to slaughter, watching as the giant humans eat her kin. She was a good chicken, a brave and smart chicken, praise heaped upon praise. She spoke better and better, eventually learning to read, and wore glasses as her vision got worse. All the while, those that looked like her were slaughtered. On the night of her death, she lay in bed, staring off into oblivion. She begged the farmer not to eat her remains. She said she'd been ashamed that she had lived, and so many of her family ended up in the stomachs of the people that praised and were entertained by her. And so it is that those who survive by pleasing their masters may live longer than the rest, but not freer, for praise cannot protect one from the fate of being consumed.
A tribesman named Bull was gored by a deer while hunting, leaving him with only one nut. Behind his back, people in the tribe called him One Stone, signifying his one testicle. Everyone was too afraid to call him One Stone to his face. But one day, a woman of the tribe named Bluebird walked past and said, "Hello, One Stone." He immediately flew into a rage, took her into the woods, and made love to her until she died. Sometime later, Yellowbird, another woman of the tribe, walked past him and said, "Good day, One Stone." Again, he flew into a rage and took her into the woods, making love to her all day and all night. But she didn't die, because you can't kill two birds with one stone.
The room was a convention hall turned into a bachelorette party for 3 different brides, Shell, Danica, and Deb. They'd moved from bar to bar, a group of rowdy women with dick necklaces, hats,
and other various penis-shaped paraphernalia. Until finally they'd descended on the hall. The price of admission was to take one Jell-O shot. Susan from HR swore as she heard these male dancers weren't gross. They danced well, and for a tip, they'd flash you their pocket rocket. It started out like many of these things do. A DJ said, "Ladies and gentlemen, you are in the war zone. Please welcome to the stage, Hank the Tank." The lights dropped, strobes came on, and a man dressed in a tight-fitting soldier's uniform commanded the crowd to surrender their love. Then off came his pants. The crowd of women and men from the office collectively went apeshit. Belinda, a mother of 3, tore at her shirt and bared her teeth in a show of primal ecstasy. Tanya, from accounting, bared her large double F tits as a fireman with a fake yellow and black dildo sprayed her in the face with whipped cream. And Jeremy, from the mailroom, licked it off of her and screamed, "Yes, queen!" It was a fine night of debauchery. Women and men in their 40s and 50s dancing and singing badly to pop music from the last 35 years. Finally, the main event strutted on stage. Tall, built like a movie star, a chiseled jaw, and a package perfectly shaped and shiny. It was a Goldilocks dong. Not too big, not too small, just right. A retro 80s tune played, and under the spotlight, he danced, strutting, jumping, with the most perfect trouser snake the world, nay, the universe had ever seen. Things started to take a turn when My Sharona played and the man's love truncheon started to dance and jiggle independently of his body. The crowd turned on him when he started jumping rope with his disco stick and then hitting people in the crowd with it like a perfectly pink, veiny Indiana Jones whip. Marley, from accounting, had a black eye. Greg, from IT, declared through tears that he had seen God. Elasto put his hands on his hips, and his disco stick went rogue, turning into a little cowboy with boots and all. When Maniac by Michael Cimbello from the Flashdance soundtrack came on, Elastoman put his thumb in his mouth and his testicles turned into a very large pair of balloons, floating him above the stage. Cheryl from Payroll fainted when the balloon nuts brushed the ceiling tiles. The crowd booed, throwing food and bottles. A block away, the Crusaders of Justice had just been having their annual conference with several other super societies, and Elastoman had gotten really drunk. It was up to Rando Commando to drive him home that night. He got there 2 minutes after the act started and recorded the whole carnival of chaos, laughing and cheering as the crowd turned on him. The descriptions on the videos he recorded were these gems. They call Elastoman the living cartoon. This motherfucker crossed into hentai. This dude is doing walk the dog with his Franken beans. Not gonna lie, I'm entertained. For his next trick, he's gonna stick his whole head up his ass. Somebody call Brazzers. On a stakeout once, Rando had told him, if you really thought about it, all adult films were kind of gay, especially when guys were DPing a girl. super gay. Alasso Man didn't like that and called Rando a sidekick. So he didn't feel bad posting the video on YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And Rando thought he wasn't going to have a good time that night.
Thanks for listening to the Many Worlds Podcast. You can check out more at themanyworldspodcast.com, where you can also sign up for the Substack newsletter to get updates, extras, and maybe a little chaos in your inbox. Catch full episodes and bonus content on our YouTube channel, and of course find the podcast wherever you listen. Apple, Spotify, you name it. Got questions? Need some bad advice? Email me at wickhamfire@gmail.com, and your question just might get answered on the show. Until next time, don't look behind you.